Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. For the last 2 years now, I've been telling you that one of the very best watches you can buy on AliExpress is the BALTANY military chronograph. A little powerhouse of a watch that punches well above its weight. It has a lovely design, it has a well finished case, a well proportioned dial and handset, a good movement, good loom, and a great price tag of $150 US. It's so good in fact that I bought one myself and it has become a permanent part of my own collection. You can imagine my surprise then when I was sent an almost identical watch with a different brand name on the dial, but with one other crucial difference. It doesn't cost $150, it costs $79. That is almost half the price of the BALTANY. Now, you saw the pop-up? I may have purchased the BALTANY myself, but I didn't purchase this one. It is a Militado, and they saw my reviews of the BALTANY, got in touch and sent me one of these. I will of course therefore leave a link to the listing for this watch on AliExpress in the description of the video and also on their own website as well. Plus, I will leave a third link. I'll leave a link to the BALTANY. Perhaps you should watch the rest of the video and then decide which of the links you're going to click. Let's flip the camera and get on with it. Alright, a couple of things before I even open the packet. The first is apologies to Militado. I've been referring to them as Miltado since I bought my first one in November last year. Second thing, let's go back to the listing. You get 6 different options here on AliExpress anyway. Basically, it's 3 different straps, 2 different dial options, date or no date. Now, I'll be honest, if I had my choice, I would have picked the no date version. I think it's a cleaner look and better for a rotation piece. If you want to wear it as a daily, go for the date. I didn't get to choose, they just sent me what they sent me. I think they sent me the best strap though. It's a pretty decent canvas and calf number in a kind of sage green. Probably the best of the 3 options. Unfortunately though, this being an AliExpress watch, it comes with an unsigned, undated warranty card. And there it is. Well, if it looks familiar to you, you're not alone. It looks pretty familiar to me as well. But there might be one reason for that other than the BALTANY. Both watches are actually homages, lookalikes, clawmages, whatever you want to call them, of a Hamilton. So does that make the Militado a homage of a homage then? Bit of inception there, a few too many layers for my brain to handle. Not identical though, as you can see. Obviously I've talked about the date, no date version already, but there's different layouts here. The BALTANY on the right uses a Seiko VK61 Mecha Quartz movement, 60-minute chrono timer at the top, small second indicator ticking away at the 6. The Militado uses a VK67 Mecha Quartz movement. I haven't actually seen a VK67 in years. So it's got the same 60-minute chrono at the top. The bottom register is a ticking small second, but the register at the 9 o'clock is a 12-hour indicator. Arguably, the VK67 on the left is therefore more useful than the VK61 on the right, if not quite as symmetrical because of the extra sub-register. But yeah, apart from the obvious, they're pretty much the same watch. Now, I did ask my contact at Militado, I said, look, do these come out of the same factory? They said no, they didn't, but they may as well do. They're almost identical. Really, I found a couple of minor differences. The glass on both is excellent. It's seated slightly better in the BALTANY than the Militado. You've just got an extra little lip on the Militado that you don't get on the BALTANY, and the case backs. Now the Militado one is branded, the BALTANY one is unbranded, but the Militado one feels thinner. It feels a little bit tinnier than the one on the BALTANY, but other than that, they really are pretty much identical. As such, this watch has just about the perfect set of dimensions for this style of watch. Those being 39mm in diameter, 12.4mm thick, and with a lug-to-lug of 46.8mm. 20mm between the lugs, weight as supplied on the canvas. I guess it's going to vary a little bit between the 3 straps. Here it is 69 grams. Crystal is double domed sapphire with anti-reflective undercoating, 100 meters of water resistance, including screw down crown and screw down chrono pushers, and as discussed, it's powered by a Seiko VK67. Case finish is that lovely sandblasted style, not as glinty and shiny therefore as even brushed, never mind high polished, and will mean that the watch wears better long term as a consequence. Now, chrono pushers unsigned, no problem there. Crown unsigned, I don't really have a problem with that. Certainly not for under $80, and this kind of mid-century style watch, that crown is thoroughly appropriate for it. And it's a good strap as well. I like the colour, the kind of two-tone green here. I will say though, there is a little bit of rub on the case of the watch. It's a little bit thick around the quick release spring bars. Nice, soft, comfortable backing and reinforcing on the stitches there. Buckle and tang unbranded. The whole strap is unbranded, by the way, double retainer, but it does have the same coating as the case of the watch. Alright, dial and hands. This is now the third of these identical watches that has passed through my review bench over the last couple of years. There was a San Martin from 2023 as well, exactly the same, but that one was priced exactly the same as the BALTANY. It's a really, really nice look. There's a lot going on, but it still manages to be uncluttered. Everything is super clean and crisply printed, and there's some great contrast thanks to a fairly subtle use of a few different colours only. I love those big Arabics in white against the deep black dial. They really pop, as do the hands. They're well proportioned, good size, nice difference between the hour hand and the minute hand, and when you catch them in the right light, the silver surrounds also just pop. Now the brand name, the sub registers and the minute track around the outer edge are all printed in silver. So there's silver here, there's white, and there is that photina, the classic military little triangles around the outer edge of the dial. So 3 different colours with a touch of a 4th colour, the red, on the tip of the arrowhead chronograph central hand. Now of the 3 sub-registers, the ones at 12 and 6, so the 60 minute and the 60 second, are both slightly recessed, and on the Militado anyway, they all have slightly broader hands mimicking the syringe tip hour hand. As discussed, this particular version features the date complication at the 3 o'clock. It's not too badly integrated, it is a decent size of date, and it is in the right position. It doesn't look awkward when compared to the big Arabics above it and below it. Overall, it's a really great look. I guess we've got Hamilton to thank for that. On-wrist experience, also a pleasure. Good size, good shape, good weight, and a decent amount of anti-reflective treatment underneath that double-domed sapphire. And you see what I mean about the legibility. There is a lot going on. It's not a huge watch at $39 with a fixed bezel, but it hangs it all together really, really nicely. Even those little sub-registers can be viewed reasonably well at arm's length. Lume then, and the lume on these is very, very good. As you can see here, Militado on the left, BALTANY on the right. Similar but not identical because of the change of hands on the sub-registers. You actually get a little bit of lume on them on the Militado, which you don't get on the BALTANY. And it's two-tone lume as well. How many times have you heard me say it's a real struggle to find decent lume on a watch under $100? With the Militado only costing $80, you can add this to the handful of well-lumed watches now that are available at that price. If I turn the speed up on these though, when we get to about 15 minutes out of the 20 minutes from my test, it's beginning to look like the handset on the Militado isn't hanging on quite as well as the ones on the BALTANY. It's pretty marginal though, certainly not something I'd be spending an extra $70 on. Moans and niggles, what on earth am I going to complain about? Wearable straps straight out of the box, cracking design, fantastic specifications, under $80 US. I'm not going to complain about anything today. This thing is outstanding for the money. Obviously, using the VK67 with the 3 register layout, it loses the symmetry, and on this version anyway, as discussed, the date also kind of mucks around with the symmetry. I would have gone for the no date version. I think it is a cleaner look overall, but It's the same watch. I mean, 5% differences between the two, a slight difference in the seating of the sapphire crystal, and perhaps a slightly thinner case pack on the Miltado. Look, if you have already bought the BALTANY on my recommendation or somebody else's recommendation, then don't cry into your cornflakes for too long, because you bought a great watch, even if you did pay $150 for it, like what I did. But if you haven't bought the BALTANY already and you like the look, then I cannot honestly think of a reason why you wouldn't buy the Miltado. There just isn't $70 between the two of them. This watch is absolutely sensational. So there you have it, not 100% identical, but maybe 95% the same watch. However, one costs 50% of the price of the other. Which should you buy? Well, as they say, you do the math. While you're here, why not check out my original review of the BALTANY or a more recent review on the Miltado Murph lookalike. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you again in the next one.